Hello my friends, happy Tuesday. It's Jen Pittabach with By the Shore Stamping, and I am here this week to share with you a really fun way to use up some paper scraps. I know we all have little strips of pattern paper that are probably lying around our desk, and it's painstakingly hurtful to put them in the trash, right? So let me show you a really fun card that you can make using scraps. It's kind of like weaving or quilting, but it's just kind of a really fun look. You can see the background where it's got the kind of squares of pattern paper. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So first off, we're going to start with, I have some scraps of pattern paper. They can really be any size or length as long as they fit on the piece of paper that you're using. So I have 3 here that are 5.5 by 1 inch, and then I have 4 here that are 4.25 by 1 inch, and then this little white base here that I'm going to use to attach them all to, that is I think it's 4 by 5.25, or is it 3? Yeah, 4 by 5.25. So it's a little bit smaller than the front of a card front. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go dive right into this part first. So I picked some patterns from the Splendid Day Designer Series paper. You guys, I am so addicted to using this stuff right now. You can see I've just got like little bits left now. It's such a pretty pattern paper pack, and it is a beautiful suite too. So I'm using the bundle that goes with the suite as well. So we're going to start by putting a little bit of adhesive here at the top, and I'm using 3 different, actually 2 of the same print and 1 different. So I'm going to put the one in the middle is going to be the different one, and then I'm going to just go ahead and attach these to this top part here, and I'm going to attach them pretty close, okay, and like so. And it's totally fine if it's not, the adhesive didn't go all the way to the side there. I'm also going to go ahead and just add a little bit of adhesive to the sides of my cardstock as well. I'm going to flip these over so it's just on the front. Okay, like that. All right, and so now we're going to start by adding our little strips of paper. So you want to make sure these stay super close together, and then we're going to make sure these strips going vertically stay close together too. So the trick is you want to make sure that you get them really close before you tape them down. Now this one, it doesn't really matter where you go. So I'm kind of alternating patterns, and so you can see this one I just stuck it underneath that middle flap, but this time I'm going to go ahead and lift these 2 and stick this under here. So now you can see I'm creating that like weaving pattern, and I'm going to get it as close as I can to that blue one and then tape it down, okay, like that. So that's why we have that tape on the ends, just to kind of keep those in position so that they stay where we want them to. So now I'm going to go and alternate again. So we'll use the blue, and I'm going to do the opposite this time. So now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do just the middle panel. So it's kind of like weaving a pattern for us. You could do this with any sort of pattern paper. And then the last one, we're going to do the same way. We're going to lift these 2 outer ones, stick that inside, get it as close as we can to that blue above it, and then tape that down. Okay, so these are, you could do another row if you wanted to, but I'm going to actually trim this. Oh, this one's dead, I think. Oh, no, it's not. Is it dead? No, it's not. So it should be working. Oh, it kind of fell off the track there. Oh dear. Let me get my little silicone sheet and get this thing sorted out. There we go. Hopefully that worked. See, there we go. Going to add that to there and that to there. This one was a little crooked. Again, you want to make sure they stay as close to the other strips as possible. I'm just going to add a little bit there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down. So I made this panel a little bit bigger than I wanted on purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my trimmer and I'm going to cut this one down to, I'm trying to think what I did. It is, yeah, 3 1/4 by 4 inches. So let's just trim this down a little bit. I'm going to go right up to here. Okay, and then 3 1/4. Whoops, I went too far on that side. So we'll make this one 3 inches. Okay, and then we're going to do by 4. So do that and like that. Okay, so now I have this cute little panel here, and I just want to make sure all the little flaps are down the way they should be. Hold on, I'm going to grab another adhesive. This one's being ornery and I don't really know why, so rather than try and figure it out right now, I'm going to just go ahead and use a different one. So because the adhesive was on a different part, I'm just going to go ahead and, whoops, reattach these. Okay, so that first taping we did was really just to kind of position it. So now we just need to make sure these stay put. So we'll just have to go around and officially attach all of these. Okay, super easy to do. Make sure all the edges are stuck down, all that stuff. Okay, this one has a little bit of a wonky edge, so I'm going to just trim that off just a tiny bit. There we go. As does that one. Okay. And then we are good to go. That one just kind of, there we go. Yeah, sometimes my guillotine does that. We're just going to trim that down a little bit. Got stuck in the guillotine. There we go. Okay, so take that down too. Now we've got our little panel. So we did a little quilting panel, which is kind of cute. Now it's just to embellish and accentuate. So I'm going to take some of the linen colored baker's twine from the Essentials pack, and I'm going to tie a little bow with this on the what side is this? Left side. I always like to tie a little knot first, so I'm going to tie a knot. Okay, that just helps give you some stability when you tie a bow, if you're tying a bow. I'm going to do that, and then we'll just floof this up a little bit. Come on, get out of there. Alright. There we go. That looks cute. So I'm just going to trim that side down. What did I do with my scissors here? Make that one a little bit shorter. Okay. Then I have a piece of crumb cake cardstock for my card base. So it's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that in half. You could score it if you wanted to at 4 1/4. I just folded it. I am going to grab my bone folder though to get a nice crisp crease on that. Okay, just makes it sit a little bit better. Now that I have the ribbon attached around that, I'm going to go ahead and grab some some regular dimensionals, and we will attach this to the card. Take those off, and we'll position that in the middle. Okay. I had pre-punched a 2-inch circle. I think that'll still work. It's a little bigger. You might want to do a, because I cut this panel down a little bit shorter, it's a little big, but that's the wrong one. Hold on, I gotta figure out why that one's being a jerk. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this under here, like that. Okay. So, like I said, we're using the Splendid Day or Splendid Thoughts stamp set and coordinating dies, which are here. So you can see they've just got some different elements to go along with the stamp set. This stamp set was not one that I would have normally bought myself, but I've been playing with it a bunch and I'm really loving it now. So I've done a lot of different projects with it. Okay, so I am using, you'll notice I'm using Whisper White and Fairy Vanilla. I just felt like the color scheme was a vanilla scheme, but I also know there's white in the pattern paper, and I kind of like sometimes using both. I know that's taboo to some of you, but I actually kind of like that look, so I did it on purpose. I feel like it gives it a little bit more of a vintage vibe. If you don't like that stark whiteness, you could ink the edges to kind of take that bright white off, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to stamp this image and the eucalyptus here. This is a two-step stamp, which is really cool. So I'll show you what that means. We did the outline, and now there's these filler elements too. But I'm not going to be really particular about how I line them up here. I'm going to stamp once, twice, 3 times, okay? So I'm just adding some color in there, not even paying attention to how to line it up. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Once, twice, 3 times, just adding some texture in there. Then we're going to die cut it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and we'll grab these dies and see if I can get this to go through in one fell swoop. Do it this way so they'll stay put. That one was a little bit warped. So I'm just going to lay this down on top, lining up those images, and then we'll line this one up here like so. Carefully put the top plate on and then roll that through. I love my little mini. Okay, now I have the 2 die cut pieces. I can move this out of the way so you can see. Okay, I'm going to actually layer this one on top of this one, so I'm just going to add some adhesive to this. Okay, and just layer that kind of on top of each other. And then this one I'm going to put on with some dimensionals, so we'll grab the dimensionals and that should be good. We'll stick this to that white circle. I'm going to leave a little bit of space for my sentiment, so just slightly more to the right, like that. I'm going to go ahead and add some Wink of Stella to my leaves here. Just beware that the Wink of Stella will probably act like a watercolor paintbrush, and that's totally fine, but it's going to pick up some of that crumb cake color, the lighter brown color that we used, and sort of blend it. That's totally cool, you guys. It's just going to have a silvery, sparkly brown glimmer glow, which is awesome. Okay, so there's that. And then the last step is to grab a sentiment. So I have a scrap piece of the crumb cake cardstock, and I'm going to use the Sending Hugs sentiment. And I'm going to stamp that. You could put it on there like that or trim it down a little bit. I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this. So I'm just going to take my paper snips. Going to put my glasses down here. Take my paper snips and I'm going to go ahead and just fussy cut around this. And you don't have to be really meticulous about it. Just make it look like you went around these little curves, like so. And then up here, I'm going to just keep it straight. And just go, oops, straight across that top sentiment. And then round off that H. Like so. Okay, and there's our little sentiment. And I'm going to go ahead and just attach this with some regular adhesive probably. Don't need to add any more bulk to this one. Just want to make sure I get enough adhesive on it because it's going to overlap on the right here. And I'm going to just stick that right here. Okay. Perfect. And then my new favorite embellishment are these brushed brass butterflies. Say that 5 times fast. And we're going to just go ahead and stick a couple of them, or a few of them, here on our project. And there you go. Finished card. Super cute, really fun. Just something different to do with those paper scraps. When you've got a few of those hanging out, you'll have something to do with them now, right? So that is our project for today. Before I let you go though, I do want to let you know that registration for my paper share, if you like my cards, you may want to join me for my paper share. The holiday catalog paper share includes 9 packs of patterned paper. So all of the new patterns from the holiday catalog, you'll get a little sampler, 6x6 sampler of each, and you get a card kit for each one. And we do 2 days of crafting where we go through projects and tips and tricks for how to use your 6x6 paper, and we go through a Stamp With Me live video for each of the projects that I made for you featuring these pattern papers. So registration is currently open at $60. It's over 100 sheets of pattern paper plus the 9 card kits. So super fun couple of days of crafting with me. It is on, so the paper share will take place on Monday, September 19th and Tuesday, September 20th, but you don't have to be live for everything. Everything will be recorded, so you can always catch it later. So check the comments below or the description below for the sign up for that paper share. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time for another edition of our By the Shore stamping video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.